G'day everyone, I'm Wayne Dowson from Wayne Dowson Fine Art, and recently I had the pleasure of attending an unveiling of a war memorial dedication at Peninsula village, Umina. And the unveiling was held in conjunction with the hanging of all 6 of my Anzac portraits together for the very first time. And you can see one of those portraits behind me. It's the painting of Trooper Reg Davis through mud and blood to the green fields beyond. The displaying of all 6 of my Anzac portraits was made possible by the hard-working Susie O'Donnell. So thank you, Susie. And I was delighted to be accompanied by 92-year-old Mr. Joe Madeley, one of the original Rats of Tobruk, and a man I've had the pleasure of painting and interviewing for my Anzac portrait series. I was also accompanied by Mr. Rob Williams, lead designer at 4 Squared Creative, who assisted me in taking photographs on the day. So it is with pleasure that I share with you all some highlights of the unveiling of Peninsula Village's War Memorial dedication, where the honoured guest and speaker was General Peter Cosgrove.
Peninsula Village is constructed in a very special place. When the land here and the land around us was subdivided between World War I and World War II, the subdivision was called, and it is still called today, Our Boys Estate. It's Our Boys. The roadway between this site and Don Leggett House just over the way was named Arras Avenue after a 1917 battle on the Western Front, when Australian and other Commonwealth forces attacked German defences near the French city of Arras. To the north and on my right over here is Lone Pine Avenue, named after a battle between Australian and Turkish forces in early August 1915. It was part of the Gallipoli campaign and was a battle which our boys did win. However, despite holding their ground, they were evacuated from the Gallipoli Peninsula in December of that year. To the east and behind us, over this way, is Pozieres Avenue. It runs past the entrance to Don Leggett House. The Battle of Pozieres was a 2-week struggle for the French village of that name in 1916. It is remembered as an Australian battle, which our boys won at enormous cost. It has been claimed by some historians that the Pozieres Ridge is more densely sown with Australian sacrifice than any other place on earth.
To the important people that are here today, our residents and those returned servicemen that have served this country, greatly appreciate that. I feel privileged to be with you today in our much-loved village, that together we do care about each other. We understand the importance of togetherness, which is symbolised here today. I reflect back to when I watched my father march on Anzac Day. In his last years, attending reunions, which were extremely important to him, but it was the bond of the gathering of people who endured and cared for each other that brought the spirit of togetherness.
Now will those who are able please stand for the singing of the hymn, Abide with Me.
It is with great pleasure I now call upon General Peter Cosgrove, ACMC retired, for our address. General Peter Cosgrove served in the Australian Army from 1965 to 2005 as Chief of Defence Force 2002 to 2005. He served in Vietnam and commanded Interfet, the international forces overseeing East Timor's transition to independence. He was 2001 Australian of the Year. Please welcome General Cosgrove.
Thank you very much indeed, Chairman Darrell. And may I commence on your behalf in complimenting Sergeant Gary Kelly and the cadets from the 25th Army Cadet Unit, Erina, for their wonderful performance so far as our catapult party. They've done very well. The memorial just opened reads, not just today, but every day, in silence, we remember. Peninsula Village, lest we forget. I think it's a wonderfully appropriate memorial to have in such a lovely place. A lovely place being a great part of Australia, and a lovely place right here where we sit today. I am now involved, if you like, in the industry side of aged care in Australia. I'm the chairman of Leading Age Services Australia, which is one of the pinnacle bodies for providers of aged care to elderly Australians. And in this regard, you have to stop and think. For a start, I'm no longer a spring chicken myself. Secondly, though, you think about the fact that this country, this wonderful country of ours, one of the richest countries in the world, with a relatively small population, we count ourselves to be hugely lucky. People like you worked for that luck. You worked extraordinarily hard. And the great opportunity for a rich country is to extend amenity and dignity to those of its population who need it most. In this case, it's to elderly Australians. People coming from a long way away would come to a facility like this to see that our venerated elderly Australians are here in their scores and scores. And they look at these beautiful surroundings and this beautiful village, and they say, wow, that's a bit flash, that's pretty good, that's really nice. Because possibly in their country things cannot be done as well. Yet, we should not take it for granted. We should not let anybody tell us that in providing comfortable, useful amenities and dignity and lifestyle to elderly Australians, we are somehow extending to them a privilege. For a country like Australia, with our wealth, with our values, with our history of obligation to those who gave us the opportunity to be where we are today, there is no privilege for elderly Australians. There's a duty by every other Australian to you. So in being here today, I'm delighted to have an opportunity to visit a beautiful place and to meet some of those venerated citizens. And I really like the theme between the absolute youngsters in uniform in front of us and all you folk here. I know how much you look on them with pride and with hope. Let's turn to the War Memorial for a moment. I think every place of this nature, representing the generational weight as you do, stretching back into, particularly here, the World War II generation seems to be are on my right. And these wonderful men and women are part of the generation that the eminent journalist Paul Kelly called Australia's greatest ever generation. Now you won't argue with that. Others may, but I believe it because my mum and dad were of this generation, the World War II generation, took us through that mighty global tragedy, brought us out the far end victorious, and then set us on the path to economic prosperity and a great opportunity for younger Australians. So for you to have your War Memorial is a credit to the village, it's a credit to you, and it's a credit to all those, and I imagine particularly from the Returning Services League and the other ex-services organisations, it's a credit to them for in the end producing a lovely opportunity, a place of contemplation and commemoration right on your doorstep, in your to salute this moment. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you.